maybe not necessarily organizing or helping those who want to do this, but essentially claiming that if the referendum is close, they would take care of Alberta and try to annex it in some fashion. So there's a certain level of wariness from Canadians when it comes to the way Trump can be doing things. And we were in fields earlier this year, and the level of support for separation in Alberta is at 31%. You could look at this in two ways, right? 62% say, I don't want to do this. It's a 2-to-1 margin. Most federal elections don't end with that type of margin. But we have the lesson of the Brexit referendum. You can get people to vote for things under false pretenses, and then you wind up with a severe case of voters' remorse a couple of days after. And the level of support for separation in Alberta tends to be higher with young people. And I think this is one of the most troubling trends here, because they could be voting under false pretenses, thinking that things are going to be easier, that, for the sake of argument, the New York Giants are going to play the Calgary Stampeders at one point. There's a tendency from that group that didn't grow up with some of the fights that we had over unity in Canada. They weren't born for the 1980 referendum. They were too young to remember the 1995 referendum. And they look at this as something that could help them because of the way they feel about life. Housing is a mess. I can't get a better job. Maybe we should just become American and things might be easier.
Mario, as always, really appreciate your insights. Thank you very much for this.